It was a crisp fall morning on October 5, 2019, when 27-year-old Caleb Moore laced up his running shoes, grabbed his headphones, and told his fiancée, Emily Carson, that he'd be back in an hour. He left their apartment in Boulder, Colorado, at 7:12 a.m., jogging toward Flatirons Vista Trailhead, a popular spot he frequented at least 3 times a week. Emily texted him at 8:30 a.m. when he hadn't returned. No response. By noon, she called the police. No one had seen him since he left home. His phone had stopped transmitting location data at 7:47 a.m., near a remote section of the trail. He had simply vanished. Caleb was known as a disciplined runner. A former track star in college, he stuck to routine. White heavy checkmark 6-mile runs every other morning. White heavy checkmark always took the same trail route. White heavy checkmark always texted Emily when he was back. That morning was no different. He wasn't upset, stressed, or acting strangely, according to Emily and his friends. He'd recently accepted a promotion at work, was planning their wedding, and had no history of mental health struggles. This wasn't someone looking to disappear, Emily insisted. Police and search teams descended on Flatirons Vista Trail by 1:30 p.m. that afternoon. His car was parked normally at the trailhead. No signs of forced entry or disturbance inside the vehicle. His phone last pinged 2.3 miles into the trail, near a fork in the path leading toward a lesser-used cattle gate. Helicopters scanned the area with infrared cameras until nightfall. Nothing. Over the next week, White Heavy Checkmark 250 plus volunteers combed the trail and surrounding woods. White Heavy Checkmark drones scanned canyons and crevices. White Heavy Checkmark dogs followed his scent, but lost it 200 feet past the cattle gate. No footprints beyond that point. No clothing, water bottle, or headphones ever recovered. A few oddities puzzled investigators. Keycap 1 Caleb's phone kept moving for 6 more minutes after the last GPS ping, but the location never updated again. Either it was turned off or destroyed. Keycap 2 A hiker reported hearing a man shouting for help around 8:05 a.m. in the direction of the cattle gate, but dismissed it as a prank at the time. Keycap 3 A security camera at a ranger station 2 miles north of the trailhead showed a figure matching Caleb's description running northbound at 8:20 a.m., far from his usual route. But when searchers checked the area, there was no trace of him. The trail forked near the cattle gate into a stretch of private land owned by Jared Molden, a reclusive 62-year-old rancher with a reputation for threatening trespassers. Detectives requested permission to search the property. Jared refused, citing liability concerns. Without a warrant, they couldn't enter. Rumors swirled that Jared kept armed patrols or hidden traps on his land to keep hikers out. Police filed for a search warrant, but without probable cause, it was denied. Emily publicly pleaded, "If he's out there hurt, please let them search." Jared responded with a brief statement. "I haven't seen anyone. Stay off my land." In December 2019, a trail camera placed by wildlife researchers half a mile past the cattle gate captured a blurry image from the morning of Caleb's disappearance. At 8:12 a.m., a figure, likely male, wearing running shorts and a neon jacket matching Caleb's, appeared in the distance, standing still at the edge of a clearing. But in the next photo, taken 18 seconds later, the figure was gone. Searchers visited the clearing. Nothing unusual, no footprints, no broken branches, no discarded items. The ground was hard-packed. Tracking was impossible. Frustrated by the lack of progress, Emily took matters into her own hands. She spoke with hikers who'd encountered strange no trespassing warnings posted further into the private property. White heavy checkmark threatening signs with crude symbols. White heavy checkmark fresh barbed wire fences. White heavy checkmark reports of bright lights seen at night in a distant part of the property. She hired a private investigator, Sam Vickers, who attempted to fly a drone over Jared's land, but the drone was shot down by unknown means. "It's like he's hiding something," Vickers told Emily. But what? In March 2020, after months of stonewalling, a hiker reported finding an old shack deep in the woods on Malden's property, visible from an adjacent ridge. Photos showed white heavy checkmark a collapsed tin roof. White heavy checkmark a rusted chair outside. White heavy checkmark, a chain bolted to a beam inside. No official search was conducted. Jared claimed. That shack's been empty since the 80s. Nothing to see there. Emily begged police to obtain a new warrant. They tried again. Denied. Meanwhile, Caleb's case grew colder. On the one-year anniversary of Caleb's disappearance, Emily received a phone call from an unlisted number at 2:47 a.m. A man's voice, hoarse, whispered, "I'm here, please." Static. The call dropped. She called back. No answer. The number traced back to a burner phone purchased in Nevada, activated that day, and never used again. Over the years, theories exploded online. Magnifying glass tilted left Caleb had been abducted by a survivalist cult living on private land. Magnifying glass tilted left Jared Malden had built underground bunkers. Magnifying glass tilted left Caleb was running from something or someone chasing him off his usual trail. Magnifying glass tilted left a secret mining operation covered up a crime. Police officially maintain no evidence of foul play but admit Caleb's disappearance is highly unusual. In 2023, Emily launched Run for Caleb, an annual fundraiser and 5K event raising awareness for missing adults. A memorial bench was installed at Flatiron's Vista Trailhead, engraved, "For Caleb, who ran into the unknown." She still visits the trail every October, hoping for answers. Each year, locals leave pairs of running shoes near the cattle gate, silently honoring the man who disappeared past the fence line. No trace of Caleb Moore has ever been found. But one haunting question remains. Why did he take the fork he never took before? And what or who was waiting beyond that gate?